Welcome back to my views on news. Three news stories. First one is about an Ethiopian former minister who is being accused of corruption, and some other rumors are being spread about his removal from the cabinet. Yesterday, PM Abiy and federal cabinet held a farewell to four Ethiopian ministers who have been relieved. Who are they? I did a video on that a few hours ago. Now, about one minister, rumors of corruption are being spread. Who is he? Secondly, viewers, second news story is about a protest held in front of US State Department by Tigrayans. Some opposition Eritrean groups also participated. Peace deal has been signed 2 months ago. More than 2 months ago, a peace deal was signed, but still some Tigrayans are protesting. And lastly, viewers, in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital, some vehicle drivers, Bajaj drivers, were arrested. More than a dozen were arrested. Some have been released and some are in prison, still in prison, and they were accused of displaying posters of emperors and kings. Firstly, viewers, yesterday, federal cabinet held a farewell to four ministers who have been relieved from their duties. Minister of Mining, Takele, Minister of Transport, Minister of Cabinet Affairs, and others. Four were relieved. Two have been appointed as ambassadors. Two have not been given any new position so far. One is Takele, Minister of Mining, and the other is Minister of Transport. And now we are hearing different reports and rumors about Takele, who is from Oromia, I think. Why was he removed? Is he going to be appointed in a new position? Some have been saying since yesterday that he could be appointed in Oromia region of Ethiopia. We don't know in which capacity, it's not clear. Is he a member of Oromia region's parliament? No. So he could be in some advisory position. It's not clear. But Takele is largely acceptable in Oromia, I think. He has served as Addis Ababa mayor too. Oromo nationalists to some extent accept him as well. So he could be given some new position in Oromia. But people are claiming that he is involved in corruption, that he bought an expensive house in Washington, D.C. and public funds were misappropriated. That is why he has been removed from his position. He could be sent abroad. So we are hearing different rumors. What we have been able to confirm is that there are issues. Yes, there are financial issues when it comes to performance of Takele. That is why he has been removed from his position. Obviously, he could be adjusted in some new position as well. He's close to PM Abiy. And yesterday, when he thanked and said goodbye, he thanked the people, and he said he was honored that he worked for Ethiopia, and he called PM Abiy his brother. So he's close to him. He could be appointed in some new position, but reports are coming in about his corruption reportedly. Secondly, we know that TPLF is going to be in Addis Ababa too. TPLF, or you can say ruling party in Ethiopia, in Tigray, will be adjusted at federal level. Elections will be held, regional election in Tigray. hopefully in coming months. Uh, Interim government will be put in place, then a regional election will be held. TPLF is expected to gain majority, and then we could see some posts given to TPLF leaders at federal cabinet. So there could be a preparation for such adjustment that 4 ministers have been relieved to appointed as ministers, as ambassadors, and 2 are so far without any new responsibility. 4 ministers were relieved yesterday. Only about Takele questions are being raised. No questions are being raised about corruption or illegal practices of other 3 ministers. Yes, people are questioning the performance of Dagmawit Mogus as well, that she did not deliver. But what about other ministers? Who is delivering? Who has brought about a change in Ethiopia? Any minister? But no questions about their integrity, financial integrity. Mainly Takele is being questioned that he was involved in some illegal financial transactions. Secondly, viewers, the Tigrayans are continuing their protests abroad. Though more than 2 months ago a peace deal was signed, TPLF is committed to the peace deal. Tigrayan diaspora largely rejected the peace deal, but TPLF since then has been trying to appease, to convince Tigrayan diaspora to support the peace deal. A protest was held on Friday in front of US State Department by Tigrayans and Eritreans. Some Eritrean opposition groups participated in the protest as well. Tigrayans say that still they are under siege. Tigrayan diaspora, they say that Tigray is still under siege. Foreign forces still in Tigray. No accountability for war crimes. Access to Tigray limited. So can we say that peace deal has been implemented? If we look at the larger picture, yes, siege is still ongoing. But gradually things are improving. We are seeing a restoration of basic services. Electricity, banking, telecom are being restored. We are seeing gradual acceleration of delivery of aid to Tigray. Yes. And most importantly, no one is dying in war. No one is dying in fighting. Before November, hundreds were dying on daily basis in war. At least war has stopped. Cessation of hostilities is holding. That is why diaspora should cement this agreement. They should back this agreement. TPLF and people of Tigray, they don't want to fight because they perhaps have seen that they cannot achieve their objectives through armed confrontation. So they have decided, they've been forced to adopt political approach. Diaspora will have to support Tigray regional government. Diaspora should call for fair and free elections in Tigray. That is what they should focus on. But they are still criticizing Ethiopian federal government, which won't solve problems in Tigray. What is needed is free and fair elections in Tigray, a new setup which will determine the future status of Tigray, the future of Tigray region Ethiopian government relations. For that, new mandate, fresh mandate is needed. So that is why diaspora should work for, they should put the pressure for free and fair elections in Tigray. Lastly, was a dilemma of Ethiopian people is that they don't have common heroes and common villains too. Largely, they might be in agreement about some people, but mostly when it comes to kings, emperors, empresses, they are in disagreement. That is why displaying of the images of these kings and emperors of the past leads to controversy, especially in Oromia. If people display images of King Menelik II, people oppose it. And that is what has been happening in Addis Ababa, to Ethiopian capital. We are displaying of images of Emperor Theodros Menelik or Empress Teitu have been banned at public celebrations to government does not allow. Why? Because it leads to backlash from the other side, from Oromos, who accuse one of these former kings of genocide of Oromos. Bajaj vehicle drivers have been arrested in Addis Ababa. More than a dozen were arrested. Why? Because they were displaying posters with pictures of Emperor Theodros Menelik, Empress Teitu. They remained in prison and some are still in prison. They were released on bail or after having paid money between 5,000 and 10,000 Ethiopian birrs. And they were arrested in Bole subcity, Warida 13. Some of them have been released. You can freely display image of Emperor Theodros Menelik in Amhara region. But in Oromia, if you do that, you are penalized. You can be arrested. And that is what is happening. So, what is needed is some agreement about who is the hero of Ethiopian history. Who are the heroes? Who are the villains? Or at least there should be tolerance when it comes to displaying the images of these emperors and kings. And why are people stuck in the past? Why are they still talking about Emperor Menelik and Theodros? Why can't they just focus on what is happening today? Why are they sticking with what happened in 18th century or 19th century, and their discussions about topics which are 2 centuries old are leading to controversies and disagreements? They can live amicably by discussing today's topics. What is needed in Ethiopia is consensus to eradicate poverty, to eradicate unemployment, to create harmony among regions, among ethnic groups. Living in the past won't resolve any issues, but some drivers are still in prison in Addis Ababa, reported. Thank you for watching.